Hey guys, welcome to Jenkins Session 3. In today's session, you will learn how we can integrate GitHub repository to Jenkins project. So I will discuss all the relevant details, right? How we can integrate Jenkins and GitHub, how we can create a GitHub repository, what is the prerequisite, right, for integrating Jenkins and the GitHub repository, how we can create a sample freestyle job in Jenkins, and how we can run the GitHub project. So in our daily day-to-day life, right, most of the tester or even developer sometime work in their local machine, right? It can be desktop or laptop. But at the end of the day, right, everyone need to push their complete code in some central repository. So such as GitHub repository from where they can run the complete project. So why repository is required? So definitely we can work in our local desktop or laptop on day-to-day basis, but in case multiple person is working right on the same thing, right, multiple team member are working on the same thing, right, they need to kind of consolidate the code, or they need to merge the code, right? So it cannot be done from the local system. So you can just store it any of the central repository where the daily basis you can just pull the code, push the code, commit the changes, or merge the code, right? At any point of time, other person with the help of that right repository link, right, they can access it from anywhere. So GitHub is a Git based repository host commonly used for open source project. GitHub enables code collaboration, hosting, and versioning. So through the GitHub, right, we can collaborate with the multiple stakeholder, right? We can host in the like kind of cloud thing, right, so that everyone can, anyone from anywhere, right, does not matter that which city, which state you are belong to, right, anywhere can access it, right, in case they are having the permission. And definitely we can maintain the versioning of the right our repository on day-to-day basis. We can update it, we can change the version, right, as and when required. So user can integrate Jenkins and GitHub to improve the efficiency of building, testing, and deploying the code. So integration between Jenkins and GitHub takes on two separate forms. One is the ability of Jenkins to pull code from GitHub, and the second one is ability of the GitHub to trigger Jenkins build job. So the first feature, namely the ability to pull the code from GitHub, is made possible through the Jenkins Git plugin. The ability to trigger Jenkins build when GitHub commits occur is provided through the Jenkins GitHub plugin. Both of these plugins are included as suggested plugin when a default installation of the Jenkins CI is performed. So whenever you are just first time, right, trying to install the Jenkins, there will be some suggested plugin will be there. In case you will be just selecting that install suggested plugin, so automatically the Git plugin will be installed. Otherwise, later point of time, right, you can install it based on your requirement. So with the Git plugin installed, the Jenkins with the GitHub integration is achieved by providing the repository URL and the badge name to pull in the build job. So here two aspects is there. One is kind of creation of the manual job, right, where you will be providing the GitHub repository and you will be kind of running your job, right? You will building your job. And another way is that you will be automating something with the help of the GitHub repository, and in case any changes occur to your repository, automatically the build will be triggered, right, and it will be providing the result. So that part will be covered in the upcoming video. So here in today's session you can learn, right, how all the prerequisites can be set up in Jenkins, and how we can create a sample repository with the help of the GitHub account, and then we can integrate the GitHub in the Jenkins project and we can trigger the build manually. So first thing that you need to open to the github.com page, right? So here let's open that one. So this is the page you can open. So in case you having the valid credential, right, you can directly use on sign in. Otherwise you can click on sign up button, right, where you can create your account, right, enter your email and password and your ID you can do it. Otherwise, in case you are already having an account, right, you can just simply click on the sign in button, and where you can just give your ID and kind of relevant ID and password. So I already having that account created, so I'll be clicking on the sign in button here simply, right. After that, in case you are already having some repository created, right, that will be listed out, and in case you are new here, right, in the GitHub, so definitely nothing will be displayed in the repository section. So there will be a button available called new button, right? If you click on the new repository, right, you can, there will be option to create the new repository. You could show the owner is showing as your username, right? You can give a description, you can select it public or private. So public will be accessible by anywhere, I mean anyone, whereas private, right, definitely you need to bring, I mean kind of get some licenses, right, so that, right, you can just do the private part, so it will not visible to the other, right? So you can in the during creation of the repository, either you can select that add-on add a readme file, right? It is not a kind of mandatory, right? Those are the things are not mandatory. So first thing is that we'll be giving the name. Suppose say GitHub Jenkins integration. I'm just giving that name of the, you could see that is available, that is the reason it is showing a green tick mark. In case it is not available, so it will not allow you to create it, right, because it will be duplicated, right? So you can select by default as public, right? So, and you can give some kind of description here. So sample repository for GitHub integration with Jenkins, right? And I'll be selecting the private. I'm not selecting add a readme file. I'm just simply clicking on the create repository. So nothing is there, only description will be there, right? And nothing will be there. So you can see here, this is the thing, right? This is the command if you want to do anything, right? The command for creating a new repository from the command line, pushing it or importing the code, right? Now we'll be creating a Java class, and I will be uploading in that project, so that with the help of the Java class, right, I will be trying to create a new job from the Jenkins and I will to execute it. So here I already had created a Java class, so this is the folder sample Java program, and this is the Java class created with the help of Java extension, right? So test Jenkins projects, that is the class Java class name. If you open it, you could see this is the thing I have written. So I have created a class. So in case you are saving with the .java extension, your class name should be same as the file name, public static void main method. So this is the, right, I have loop created two loops, outer loop and inner loop. So outer loop is executing from I equal to 0 to 2, and inner loop is executing from j equal to 0 to 3. So for every I, inner loop will be executed 3 times, 0 1 2 3, and outer loop will be executed only 3 times. So that way it will be printing out the details in the console, right? So you can run it from the console as well. Let's run it from the console, so you can get the properties here, right? So that you can go to the path directly, right? If you want to run that program and if you can see what is the output, you can also see it, right? You can press Windows R and you can go to the CMD, right? Here you can type like cd space the path of the kind of Java program where it is kept. After that you can compile it Java C, and then your Java class name, right? This is the name of the Java class, and then .java, so that it will be compiled. In case of any error it will throw, otherwise you can just execute it with the help of Java command and the class name. So it will be giving you the output, right? Outer loop is executing 3 times, 0 1 and 2. Inner loop is executing for every outer loop 0 1 2 3 4 times. So that is the way you are getting the desired output, right, from the console. Okay, now I will be adding this particular class, right, in that repository, GitHub repository. So you can use here, right, creating a new file, uploading a new existing file, like that. So I am clicking uploading an existing file, and there is an option called choose your files, right? I can use it, and then I can go to the desktop and wherever sample Java program, and that Java class, right, I need to select it, not the other thing, .java file. So I will be selecting and opening it. So it will be added to your project, right? And here in the commit changes section, you need to give any kind of relevant commit changes. So you can mention that, right, test Java class added in the repository, because you are updating, right, the repository, you need to commit it. Okay, and here you can also maybe class add it comment changes, then you can make a comment changes, right? So that it will be automatically saving. You could see that is the thing saved, and this is the comment you have added, and this is the, if you click here, or this is the thing, right? You can take it. This is the path of your repository, whatever kit. Otherwise you can click on the code here and you can just copy it, right? So that is the link, right? You can copy it and you can paste in the notepad. Okay, so this is your GitHub project path, right? Where you could see, right, all test Jenkins project.java is already there. So if you open, you could see this is the thing you could able to see, right? Whatever sample code we have written for this particular class, right? .java class. Now this part is done. I already kind of opened my GitHub account, navigated here, created a sample repository, and I have added one Java file, right? Now I need to integrate, right, this one with my Jenkins. So I'll be opening the Jenkins here. So that part is done, right? GitHub project creation is done. I already noted down my project path, right? After that I'll be opening the Jenkins. So in case you already installed with the default host site, it will be default port, it will be 8080, and you need to give your credential ID password, so that it automatically will navigate you to the Jenkins dashboard homepage. Now you need to click on the manage Jenkins, right? Here you can go to the plugin manager, right? So here first thing is that you need to select, right, in the available one, you need to select, you need to kind of enter, right, git plugin. So if you enter git plugin, initially definitely it will not be, in case you did not install it, so that relevant options will be there, and you can select the option called download now and restart, like that, right? But it is already installed, so it will be available in my install section. If I go to my install section, if I give git, right, you could see git plugin. So that will be already installed in my system, git plugin, right? This is the git plugin, right? The git plugin, so that will be available here. Otherwise, if you go here in the available section, if you enter git, right, so that will be displayed. In case it is not installed, you can select that one and you can just click here download now and install the install after restart, otherwise install without restart, right? So that way the thing is there, you can install it, right? The next one is, so that is required, git plugin is required to integrate, right, GitHub account to your kind of Jenkins project. After that, another thing is that you need to install plugin manager. Similar way, here you can type plugin, sorry, not plugin, credential plugin. So you can type here credential, right? So that options will be displayed, but I already downloaded it, so it will be displayed in my install here. Otherwise you can search in the, you can go to the available section and you can type with credential plugin, and after that, once displayed, you can select the checkbox and you can download now and install it. So it is already installed here, so I can type here credential, right, so that you could see the credential plugin. That is the thing you need to install it, right? So this is the two prerequisite is required the to start with the GitHub integration with Jenkins, right? After that, again I need to navigate to the manage Jenkins, right? Manage Jenkins sections, and then there will be in the security section there will be option called manage credential, right? So it is done, right? After that, here I can need to select the global or the system any link, right? And this is showing global credential, but here nothing is there, right? No credential has been entered, I have selected, right? So you can click on the add credential option, right? And here there's option you can change it is required, but here it will be same as user and password. I am not changing it, and the scope also there's option for changing it, but I am not changing it. I'm selecting as a global, and here I need to enter my kind of GitHub credential, user ID and password, right? So I'll be entering my user ID password, and my password So this is my user ID, right? And the password I have entered. I am not, you no need to enter anything in the ID field, and you can enter description field, you can enter, so that is already written here, right? So you can enter the necessary description so that I can you can easily understand what is the, what are the user ID and password is set up, right? So I can mention like GitHub credential, because you will be adding lot of credentials. So in case you are not giving a description, you will not able to understand what the thing, right, all about, right? So I'm giving the GitHub credential, and after that I'm clicking on the create button here, right? So it will be giving you option to, if you want to save it, you can save it, or you can near. Now you could see that ID thing is already populated, right? So this is the ID. Sometime you require, right, so that like you can get the details ID, so it will be automatically pre-populated. Now you could see that GitHub link, right, GitHub user ID and password is obviously not be showing it. It will be showing in the asterisk smart username and password options, right? That is already added to your Jenkins. So it is a one-time activity. In case you want to create one more credential for any other thing, right, you can just simply, or you can do it, right? Now if you want to update whatever is already added, right, you can go to that update button here, you can update it, right, whatever is really required, right? And also you can delete it, right? You can move the priority also in case you are having multiple things, right? So now my credential has been saved into the Jenkins. Now I will try to create a project where I will try to map the GitHub project whatever is created and try to execute it, right? Now I will try to go to the Jenkins dashboard again. I will create a new item, right? Here I will be giving some name, right? Kind of name will be like GitHub Jenkins integration project, right? And I'll be selecting the freestyle project, and I'm clicking on the OK button. So project will be created now. Now after the project creation is done, right, you can give some description in the project. So I will, let's save it first. So I can give description is that this project created for validating GitHub Jenkins integration, right? And here we will not no need to select anything for now, because we are creating the manual, right, build trigger. And here in the source code management, right, there's an option called none or git, right? So you, if you select the git, right, you can see automatically this thing is getting populated. So you need to give the repository URL, right? This is, if you click here, that it will be giving this, specify the URL of the path of the git repository. This uses the same syntax as your git clone command, right? So I already saved the path here. I'll be simply giving that path here completely, complete path. And definitely I need to map the credential, right? So already I have added the credential, right? You could see that is the thing is displayed. So I can do it. Otherwise, in case you are not having the credential added, right, from that setting, you can click here also, and you can click Jenkins, and you can similar way you can add the credential here, right? Username, ID, password. You could see same thing, same window is coming, right? Whatever way we have already set our GitHub credential to the Jenkins, right? So now I already had, so it will be displayed from the drop downs, and you can select it, the required one. Now here you need to change the branch. So by default it will be master, but if you open the project, you could see that it is not in the master branch, it is main branch, right? That thing is already saved in your, that class is already saved in your main branch. So you need to change it here, right, to the main. So just simply think I'll be changing it to main, otherwise slash star I'll not changing it. I'm changing it to main. Other part, right, you don't need to change anything for now. Then in that build step, right, add build step, you need to click it here, and you need to click it to execute Windows batch command. So now path is already set up with the credential, right? Then now it's a Java class, right? So I need to run it, right? First I need to compile it, and then I need to run it. So whatever command we have used here, right, that first command, compilation command, I'll simply pasting it here. Compilation will be done, and then I need to run it. So that second line command I will be just adding it, because the path is already set up with the credential, so you no need to give the path anymore. With the help of the git link, you already given the repository link, and also credential has been entered, right? So now I need to compile the class whatever is added in my GitHub, and also I need to run it, right, with the help of the Java command. So that is the thing, I need to run it with the help of the execute window batch command. Then I will click on the apply, and I will click on the save. So that way, right, my project, right, this is my project, GitHub Jenkins integration project, and this is the description I have given. You could see that is also being displayed. So my project is successfully created. In case still if you want to change anything, go to the configure, right, so that it will open again. In case you are having an issue, right, you can correct them, right, you can change the description. Otherwise you could see, able to see that GitHub repository already linked with that kind of project, credential already there, whatever command you want to execute is there, right. You can simply save once more time, and now from the build, now you can try to run it, right. In case of any error, definitely it will fail the build, otherwise it will pass the build. But now we are directly accessing, right, the GitHub project, right, the Jenkins Java test Jenkins project Java class file, right, and now it will try to run it with accessing that. Okay, so that way you can establish the connection with the help of the Jenkins with the GitHub account. Now you could see this is the pass, right. Now if you click here, right, there's an option called console output, right. You could see started by user, what is the username of the Jenkins, running as a system, because that was system, right, and this building workspace, this is the path here, right, and this is the command you have typed, right. Now you could see here some of the thing, right. You could see that is set credential for the GitHub credential, right. So GitHub related part is validating first, right, and then you could see this is the main folder, it is trying to execute it. Okay, and this is the commit message whenever you already created the git, right, you have already put, I mean, added the folder, those are the thing also it's trying to fetch it. And this is the command you have run it, right, for first compilation and then running, and this is the output is being displayed, right, whatever should be there, whatever you got it with the help of the command line as well, it is matching same way, and your thing is success, right, with the help of here the status code is exit 0. So that is the way simply, right, you can integrate, right, the any GitHub project with the Jenkins. In the upcoming session you will see, in case you are making any changes in the GitHub, right, automatically you can create some automatic job, so automatically any kind of changes in the GitHub project automatically try to trigger the job, and it will show you the success of the failure error message, right, or the GitHub Jenkins job status. So that's all from today's session. Thank you.